What repairs do you need to do as a seller before you sell? Today, we're going to get into them.
You better get fired up.
All right, guys, welcome. I appreciate you joining us, whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube. Today, I've got the amazing Lissette Hurtado with me. Lissette, how was your Monday?
Awesome. How are you doing, Joe?
I'm doing amazing, man. I appreciate you asking. So today, what we're going to get into is if I'm a seller and I want to put my home on the market, you don't necessarily want to fix everything, right? Because if you put money into everything, you're going to be out a bunch of money, and are you necessarily going to get it back? So today we're going to tell you some of the things that we believe you should put your money into before listing that home. Lissette, kick it off.
So let's just start with the visible. If there's anything that you see that needs to be repaired, trust me, your buyer is going to see it too, and so is their agent, and so is their home inspector. So address those issues. If there's something that's leaking, actively leaking, that's going to come up on the home inspection. That's something that you don't want to have to deal with either. If your property is going to be on the market a little bit longer, you're going to have to address those issues. So whatever you see, take a tour of your property, start taking notes, and address those issues along the way.
I like that. And I'll tell you too, one thing I would add to that is, maybe getting a pre-listing inspection done. That's something that we suggest for every single one of our sellers. And you can go through and see, as a seller, you can put yourself in the buyer's shoes. How scary would this report be if I saw it? And fix the scary things first, right? Some of these things are pretty small. Not a big deal if you don't fix them. Some of these things are going to be a little bit bigger. But when you see the entire report and you can put yourself in the shoes of the buyer, you can start to see easily, hey, maybe that roof leak is something that most normal buyers are not going to move forward on, right? The only person who's going to is an investor, and they're going to come down on price considerably. So the roof leak you might want to fix, right? But if you've got a chip tile, 99% of buyers are going to be okay with a chip tile. So I think getting that pre-listing inspection done up front is a pretty good idea. What else you got?
So then just picking back off of that, if you have a pre-listing inspection, look for the big items. Your home inspector definitely is going to point those out. If you're having any issues with the water heater, if that's leaking or needs to be replaced or repaired, AC, sometimes a maintenance call could solve a problem. Look at those big items and address them. It's going to save so many headaches down the road. I always like to tell my clients, let's separate what is maintenance, repair needed, and what's cosmetic. Cosmetic stuff we could put on the back burner and negotiate that, or just tell them, listen, it's as is, the property is being sold that way. But definitely take a look at that report, and big ticket items I would definitely pay special attention to.
Yep, I like big ticket. I'd add to that plumbing and electrical. And with electrical, although there's other things too, electrical is the big one, where there's little things that are seemingly small. They probably cost more in labor than they do to fix them, right? And I'll give you an example. Exposed wiring. I see it all the time. Probably half the homes that I sell have some exposed wiring somewhere, and it literally costs $0 to fix if you know how to do it yourself. If you hire somebody, it's 100% labor. There's no items involved with it. So it's fairly cheap, but people want to know that when they buy a home, it's going to be safe. And they want to know that between when they put that offer in and it gets accepted and when it closes, they don't have to worry about the house going up in flames either. So you're going to see those types of things are going to be asked for, a lot of the plumbing issues. Is there anything else that you would recommend somebody repair or replace before they list their home in the market?
So, this is one that maybe sometimes people don't think about when they think of repairing something or maintenance, but get pest control in your property. Yeah. If you have buyers coming into your home and they see any type of droppings, ants, roaches, that's a flag to buyers. They're going to start thinking you're not taking care of your property. Your property is not being well maintained, which, it could just be that it rained a lot and those big roaches got in. No big deal. But if you get pest control inside and take care of the issue before it becomes an issue, it's going to save you money down the road. That buyer is going to think higher quality of your home also.
Yeah. I'll add two things. Cracked windows, see them all the time. I don't know a buyer out there who's either going to accept a cracked window or they're going to take you in the cost and they're going to add to it considerably, right? So whatever that window repair is, let's say it's $1,000. No buyer is going to ask you for $1,000 off. They're going to ask you for $2,000 off, $3,000 off. So it's going to make sense to repair it yourself, right? You can kind of think of the different things involved that you'll get your ROI back on. And then, God, no, I lost my train of thought on the other one. I'm going to let you take over, and then I'll think about what
You know what's another one is tree roots. If you have a big tree
Yeah.
in your property, take a look at that, because that could lead the inspector to really start taking a look at that and see if that's causing any foundation issues. So take a look
Yep.
outside on the perimeter of property to see if there's any landscaping hazards that need to be addressed, any limbs going into the property. We see that all the time on inspection reports, and that's how we get the squirrels in the property, and you get lizards and rats and mice and all that. So trimming all that back will help also.
The one I forgot about was doors, right? And I'm not just talking about your main door, your bedroom doors, your closet doors, your shower doors. If they're rubbing on the floors they're coming in because they're not centered, they're going to see that. And that's going to be a problem. They might back out for something like that just because they assume if this is off centered, how many other things are messed up that I'm not seeing, right? So it's a really easy repair you can get done on a Saturday. And just making sure that everything works well. I can't tell you how many times I go into a listing and I go to show a bedroom closet, I open it and boom, the whole door falls on the floor. And I'm like, what's going on here? So make sure the tracks work, everything else. Simple things, but I'm telling you guys, if you think the buyer isn't going to find it, the buyer, the agent, the person's dad, their inspector, somebody's going to find it. So don't let it go. And then I'll add this one in there too. If you've got carpet and that carpet is stained or frayed, or especially around the edges, it's pulled up, you're going to see people coming after you on price, and it's going to be for way more than it would cost you to replace that carpet. So maybe a bedroom's $2,500. They're going to want $4 or $5 grand off. So to fix it yourself, not only is going to save you money, but it's going to increase the buyer pool that's actually interested in submitting an offer on your home. Any final things that you'd add to that, Lissette?
No, just, take a look at your property, really take inventory of where maybe you've neglected a little bit. We all neglect certain things in our property sometimes, of maintenance, wear and tear. And that's going to help you in the end. Not only is it going to be better representation of your property, but buyers are going to want to make sure that they reach that sell price that you are offering, because now your property looks it's worth it.
Yep.
So a little bit can go a long way.
Yeah. And guys, just the general feel here to kind of wrap it up is, if you want that tip top price, when you're talking to a realtor and that realtor says, hey, your home's worth $450 to $470, if you want that $465, $470, it's got to look phenomenal, right? We lost Lissette. It's got to look phenomenal. If it doesn't look phenomenal and so many people are like, buyers will buy into this, or they'll look beyond that or whatever, they will. But they're not going to give you that 470 in this example. They're going to give you the 450, the 455. So if you want the top price, you got to make it look like a top home. Guys, if you got any questions, comments, anything like that, put it down below. We'll always get back to you. And if you've got any ideas for videos that you'd like to see that we haven't touched on yet, feel free to put them in the comments and we'll absolutely do it in the future. Guys, have an absolutely amazing week. Take care.